Welcome back to the channel. Today in the shop we are giving some love to our 99 Acura Cl. In the last video we jump-started it from the Minnesota cold and brought it into the shop. Now that it's been sitting on the trickle charger overnight, we are in a good spot. It's not drawing anymore, so we have at least some level of indication that the battery is topped off. Today, we're going to just do a general check some fluids, tire pressure. We are going to visually inspect 2 of the 4 engine mounts because there is a slight vibration at idle. And then we're also going to replace the windshield wipers. So actually the first thing we're going to do is we're going to close the hood so that we can access our wiper blades easier. So to do that, we're actually just going to remove the charger. Okay, we're going to go ahead and close our hood. And then take our wiper arms and put them up so that we can service them. I will show you the most typical failure point of wiper blades is the blade itself coming off. So this is essentially useless, and we do not want to keep it on there so that we do not scratch our glass or run the risk of anything silly happening there. So we'll go ahead and get our wiper blades out. I believe these are just from Rock Auto. And before we do anything, we're going to pop them out of their case and just put them side by side for these blades to make sure that they are the right length. It looks like 24 inch, 20 inch, so let's verify that. Looks good. Put these right here for now. Do the same thing here. And make sure that we have the right length before we go ahead and start pulling old parts off. That's always a good policy. Okay, so when it comes to removing this style of Honda windshield wiper blade, you can actually just take the blade itself, move it 90 degrees so that you can access this little tab here, and then it should allow us to push it down. This hook is going to look like this. So this retaining lock will get moved out of the way, and then we will be able to pull this down towards the windshield, and that should be all it takes. So here's a comparison of the old Rain-X ones that were sitting on here and these new options here. Big thing when you're doing this is now that you have it in this position, you do not want to allow this to slam. You can kind of see where that might get you in a bad situation, metal on glass. So we're going to be careful that it does not, with its spring pressure, slam down. And then here, it'll be the same process. It'll be a little hard to see, but the hook is going to go right into this area. So all we have to do is click it into place like that. And then we're going to remove these guards on the blade itself. Take care of our old one. And that is it. So now that we've done the driver's side, we're going to do the same process for the passenger side. Again, the same release clip, and then push down towards the vehicle. Being careful that you don't apply too much force and break something. You do need to persuade it a little bit, but it should not require a ton of effort and strength. Sometimes they can be a little stuck depending on how long they've been on the vehicle. But you can see this blade just simply did not survive the winter time. Okay, so same process again as the driver's side. We are going to hook the arm itself right here. So we're just going to slide it up and in. You should hear a nice little click. Take these guards off. And now we just have 2 brand new blades ready to go. Okay, so if only wiper blade replacements were that smooth all the time, most of the time they are a little bit of a fight. You don't want to fight too hard because it's kind of plastic and it's brittle, especially if you're outside. In this case, it pays to just take a look at the new wipers themselves and kind of get an idea for how things come apart, because sometimes it's not very obvious. In this case, you know, it's one tab and it's a push. Other cases, not so much. So a couple takeaways: always good to check your new blades, make sure they are the right length. As you might have seen naturally when we did this, the driver's side blade conventionally will be longer than the passenger side. Not true for every vehicle, true for this Acura at least. So it's good to make sure that, hey, you have the proper length for each side. In this case, we expected them to be different lengths. Sometimes they'll be the same. Again, vehicle by vehicle basis. The other thing is you want to make sure when you're servicing the blades to keep, you know, attention to the metal arm itself so that it doesn't smack down the windshield. Another thing to be careful of. Then a couple other small things to be mindful of too when you replace these. So those plastic pieces, sometimes that is an entire guard to kind of preserve the blade while it's in its packaging. In our case, we just had the 2 tips on the side. Make sure to remove those. Otherwise, you're going to have plastic, you know, kind of scraping the windshield. And the other thing is, when we went to install them, in the video itself, hopefully it comes through clear enough, but as you slide them into position, we were able to hear a distinctive click. And we know that they are fully locked in, and trust that as we drive and activate the wipers themselves, that they're not going to fly off, right? You want to make sure that you at least make sure that they are connected with enough confidence. If you're not quite sure, take a step back, remove the wiper blade and inspect. Make sure that you are comfortable with how it gets locked into place. And just like that, that's all it takes typically for a windshield wiper replacement. Similar process for most vehicles. Again, there will be exceptions. And similar process to wipers on the rear of like a hatch. For example, on our RAV4, it's a smaller wiper, very similar to the passenger side. So each one will be uniquely different to the manufacturer. This year of Hondas and Acuras, pretty similar across the board. But even modern Hondas and Acuras may have a different style. So it pays to just take a moment, kind of game plan how they come apart, how the new one goes in, and that'll conclude your basic wiper blade replacement. Any questions? Let me know down below. And if you enjoy this type of content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and make sure to share these videos with any friends and family that come to mind to help support the channel. And with that, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next part.